Welcome back to the Ripewave Audio community, where we explore together all types of home audio systems from hi-fi to home theater. My name is John, and for this video we will unbox a Harmony Elite Universal Remote to see if we can simplify our secondary family TV operation for everyone and ask the question, 5 against 1, is that fair? This is the first time Ripewave Audio has covered an automation topic in our video series, but I have provided a link to the Clips the 5's unboxing and first impressions video in the description, as those powered speakers of one of the devices we want to control with the Harmony remote at this location. Perhaps I'm not alone with my family caring far more about ease of use, simplicity, than the actual sound quality of a system. The target system is not even Ripewave Audio's main theater, and it has 5 remotes, with the 5th being added last November when Clips the 5's became a permanent addition to this room to improve the sonic experience for this secondary setup for our family entertainment. That turned out to be the tipping point where we said, enough is enough. It's time to invest in a universal remote. While my tolerance for complexity is higher than the rest of the family, I too have my limits, and this is just insane for just a simple setup. A TV, a Blu-ray player, Amazon Fire TV, Nintendo Switch, and powered speakers. As simple and easy as the 5's are, their remote only added to our complexity problem. Upgrading the 2006 vintage LED television to a model with eARC and more HDMI inputs would certainly have helped. But we are unwilling at this point to spend money to replace a set that is working sufficiently for this secondary location. Doing so would eliminate the Clips remote, as eARC would allow the TV to control the volume, and the HDMI switcher would become unnecessary. However, the Fire TV and Blu-ray remotes would remain for a total of 3 remotes, even after the TV upgrade. Being able to have one-button commands to play a movie, stream, broadcast TV with one set of volume controls is the level of simplicity we need. Having direct links to favorites channels would be also a plus. Aside from the custom integration solutions from the likes of Control 4, Logitech seems to have the most popular universal remote solution with its Harmony brand. Now, Logitech acquired the 3-year-old at the time Harmony solution from EasyZapper in 2004 for $29 million and has driven it as the leading universal remote. Now, there are 3 Harmony top-of-the-line models which use the same remote design: the 950, the Elite, and the Pro. The Harmony 950 model just includes the IR-capable remote and lists for $250. The Elite and Pro models provide the same IR remote, but also include the Harmony Hub for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth-based control. The Elite lists for $350. The Pro model is only available through integrators, so its price is not publicly published, but appears to be identical in functionality to the Elite. Owners of the 950 can add the Harmony Hub for $100, so the sum of the 950 plus the Hub separately equals the price of the Elite bundle. Now, however, if you take advantage of a sale, you may get the Elite package for less. Ripewave Audio went with the Elite, which turned out to be only $20 more on sale than the 950 without the hub. Getting the Elite for $270 was $80 off the normal list price, so we felt like we got a great deal. Two other Harmony models exist, the Companion for $150 and the entry-level 665 for $70. The Companion combines the hub like the Elite, but is a button-only remote with no LCD screen display. The 665 has a simplified LCD display driven by soft buttons, no touchscreen, but does not include the hub or support for it, so you are limited to controlling only IR devices. These 950 Elite Pro models can combine up to 15 remotes, and when used with a hub, have app integration. It is possible to have one-touch actions to switch to your favorite channels and create custom sequences, which may include lighting and blind control. Events can be scheduled or driven from voice commands via Amazon Alexa or Google Home. The Harmony Hub centralizes commands for all devices with infrared, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth connectivity. The hub makes it possible to access devices that are not within line of sight of the remote, so cabinet doors may be closed during operation. The Harmony app turns your iOS or Android-based smartphone or tablet into a universal remote control and serves as an easy configuration interface. The app lets you change channels, adjust the volume, access 50 channel favorites, trigger multiple device activities, and remote access your home devices. Logitech claims support for 250,000 devices from 6,000 plus brands. The Harmony support website has a compatibility page which lets you type in the make and model of each device you have to confirm compatibility and lets you know if the Harmony Hub is required. RipeWave Audio recommends that you run this page for each device you want to control prior to purchasing, so you will know the level of support you can expect, as we did. In our case, we found that all devices were supported except for the Nintendo Switch, which really doesn't require any remote control, so lack of support is a non-issue. The TV, Sony Blu-ray player, Clips Power speakers, and HDMI switch all support both IR and hub connectivity. Amazon Fire TV is the only device which will require the hub, as Fire TV does not have infrared. Given that requirement, it is good that we went with the Elite model versus the 950. Now it's time for the unboxing and setup. Today I'm doing a simulated unboxing as my original footage was lost when the battery ran out. Now typically I put a fresh battery in each time I shoot, but this time I forgot. So it does pay to follow best practices. The good news is that I believe this second run will be much better with more lessons learned. So let's take a look at this. This is how it arrives. It's got an outer cosmetic box. We can slide this out this way. And now I ripped it. Then you've got the inner box. We can slide this out from here. Now, I didn't quite get this all back in the box exactly as it came, but you can see here that it's in here. Now, I think when I got this, there was definitely not showing anything on the screen immediately, but there is the remote. Here is the Harmony Hub. And the other item here, get rid of that stuff. This is the cradle base which serves as a charger for the remote. In here, we have the instructions. We'll get into more about how limited the information is on that in a bit. You have a USB cable, which is later used for updating the remote. You have two infrared remote emitters that plug into the Harmony Hub. And you have two power cables, one for the charging base station and one for the Harmony Hub. And that does it. So we can put that away and we can stand that up for display. So what we aim to do is replace the Samsung TV remote, the Sony Blu-ray remote, the Amazon Fire TV remote, the Clips remote, and the HDMI switcher remote. So at this point, I'm going to plug some of this in, and then we're going to talk about more about what went right and what went wrong. This is a USB micro connection for the phone, as well as the Harmony Hub. For the emitters, and we'll later set this up nice, we'll plug one of this. This is like an 1/8" phono connection, and whether we need both IR emitters or not, we don't know, but I'll just plug them both in. And the only thing other on the back here is the reset button, which is for pairing with your phone or whatever when you set it up. So this is the basics here. This is the manual. When you get into the manual here, it says start by plugging in the Harmony Hub. It explains the different parts of this. It says charge your remote. Keep it in the station in the same room to optimize the communication between the hub and the remote. Install the Harmony app, which I did on my iPhone. It's also available from the Google Play Store for Android devices. And it says, alternatively, you can set up the Elite using a PC Mac by setup.myharmony.com to download the desktop software. And the overview, this is what they give you. It says connect the hub to Wi-Fi, create an account, scan your Wi-Fi network, add your home entertainment devices, add your home control devices, create activities, and do software updates. And that's the essence of the manual. So it is not a step-by-step guide. It directs you, as we said, to the Harmony mobile app and proceed from there. As an iPhone user, the default use of Safari failed for me, because we had to create this Logi ID. And why it failed is there's a button, or should be a button, or hyperlink for create new account. Now that was listed, but the hyperlink was missing. So I switched over to my laptop, and we used a Chrome browser, and that did the trick. So I could create my Logi ID account. And I chose email as the verification method. And the email came into my phone. But again, the iPhone failed because it's defaulting to Safari. So they've obviously got some issues working with Safari. This time, though, even using the iPhone, I copied that link to a Chrome browser, loaded into the iPhone, and the verification worked just fine. So I don't think it's an iPhone issue. I think it's a Safari issue. And of course, after that, the iPhone app appeared to work, but I would experience more iPhone issues. To proceed, the app on the phone instructs you to connect the Harmony Hub. If Bluetooth is not enabled, it prompts you to enable it, and it connects to the hub. The hub discovered my wireless home network without an issue. The app then issues a software update, after which it forces you to log back on, and you can. However, the software then goes into this endless loop of update and log on without really any hope to move on to the next step. So I switched over to the Harmony desktop app with my laptop, which I had to locate on the website, the Logitech website. And with this desktop app, the instructions were a little different. It had me establish a wired connection via USB to the remote for the update. So we take the little short USB cable that came with it, and they give you, of course, the USB micro that goes on the end of the phone, and there's a little dust cover here at the back of it, and you can plug that in. And this end, it can be USB-C, or if you take the adapter off, USB-A, and which is what I used on my Windows laptop. And with that cable in place, I was a lot more comfortable doing the update for the software update than over the air through wireless or Bluetooth, and it worked flawlessly with the wired connection. And the software, more importantly, the software advanced to the next step once complete. Interestingly, the desktop app explains the functional differences then between the desktop app configuration and the mobile app experience at this point. So if you read those descriptions, you may believe that the mobile app provides the greatest level of functions. I did. So I switched back to the mobile app. So using the mobile app, the hub automatically discovered some devices. This was using, I believe, either the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth. It didn't explain what technology it was using. It just discovered them. But it found 2 Amazon Fire TV units and a Sony Blu-ray player. The problem is none of these units were actually in the room we wanted to control. But I added those devices anyways in case I wanted to do something with them later, and this supports up to 16 devices, so I have plenty of extra devices, slots to use. The app was able to walk me through adding all the other devices. For the Amazon Fire Stick that was in this room, it involved getting into the settings, and it talked you through this, which was great, to go into the settings for Bluetooth on the Amazon Fire Stick to discover the Harmony Hub. For the IR devices, it was a simple matter of entering the make and model of each. It was just like the app on the Logitech website that showed you the compatibility. And when I put the make and model in, it found that, and it configured each without an issue. So it configured the Samsung LN-S469D, the Amazon Fire TV, the Sony BDP BX57, the Clips the 5s, and the ZettaGuard ZW410 HDMI switch. Then I set up activities, it's what they call the sequences, they call them activities, for my most common use cases, which in our case were 1, watching streaming TV, 2, watching a Blu-ray movie, 3, playing Nintendo Switch game console, and 4, watching broadcast television for that nice free over-the-air high-quality signal. As we have an external HDMI switcher and powered clip speakers as part of our setup that needs to be coordinated with these sequences, these activities are going to be a great benefit to keep all this. It's more than just setting the TV to the right input with the right source. These speakers and this HDMI switcher also have to be on the right inputs. So this is going to be great. Now, when setting up these activities, we were able to configure an icon, and there are many to choose from. And you're able to give a logical name for the activity. And it's not just an 8-character single word. You can have, I don't know what the limit is, but I was able to use several words. So it makes for a nice logical name. We did have a few issues to resolve. Now, as I was troubleshooting, I ended up switching back to the desktop app. And I got the impression that I was able to do more. Now, this may just be an impression, but I felt like I could do more with the laptop than I could with the phone. And this might just because I found it a lot easier to navigate, to find the functions that I was looking for. So I performed my program from there on forward from the desktop app. Now, in creating these activities, after you program it, the software runs you through a test sequence, which is great because you get to know if what you just created is going to work. Now, for watching the streaming TV activity and the Play Nintendo Switch activity, I experienced no issues. It worked right the first time. It started up, it shut down, and moved on to the next activity. For the watch a movie activity, I found that the shutdown sequence of the Sony Blu-ray player was too slow. Now, this is an inherent problem with the Sony player itself. Getting this to stop from playing a movie does take a long time. So as a result, the Harmony would time out and fail to switch to the right HDMI input during the test. Now, we were able to resolve this, and Harmony has this built into it. You're able to put a time delay in between the sequence commands. So what we did was we added in a 10-second delay after powering off the Blu-ray player, then to do the switching of the input. And of course, we could tweak that a little bit. I'm not sure if that really comes out in the actual use would be the same problem, but certainly in the test sequence it was a problem, so we just left it in there. I had more difficulty getting the Watch Broadcast TV to switch inputs on the Samsung TV to TV Air. Now, after a lot of troubleshooting, what I discovered is that Samsung, and this is partly a hypothesis, is not considering the switch to TV Air as an input, perhaps because the tuner is internal to the TV. But I then found that a menu in the Harmony configuration where I could customize the activity and add in or modify commands for startup and shutdown sequences. Here I could issue that source command that we needed to have run as part of the startup, and then it switched over correctly. Now, however, with that alone, it didn't switch back from broadcast TV to the other modes until I added another source command to the shutdown sequence, moving it back to HDMI 1, where the external HDMI switch is connected. Now, once those issues were resolved, I could more elegantly route the Harmony hub and infrared emitters in our setup here in our console. The hub itself has an infrared emitter, and Logitech recommends placing it in one of the larger openings of your equipment cabinet, rack, or console. The signal is said to bounce off the internal walls, but not through the shelving. Therefore, they say take the additional remote infrared emitters and place them on other shelves where the IR signal of the hub may not reach. Now, in my case, I needed to isolate the infrared signals to the clip speakers and the HDMI switcher. It's because they use the same codes and they're constantly fighting with each other. So to facilitate the careful placement, and I can handle this with the IR emitters, what we'll need to do is complement the placement with customizing the IR path configuration for each device to only use the infrared port 1 or port 2. So as you've got these emitters here, you can direct the clip speakers to this emitter, and then the signals we want to the HDMI switcher to use this emitter, and hopefully have enough wood in between those IR blasters not to receive by the others. So we're going to give that a try. We haven't set that up quite yet, but I have found instructions to do that. So with the basic install complete, we can now place the original 5 remotes in a drawer, which is the Samsung TV remote, the Sony Blu-ray remote, the Amazon TV remote, the clip speaker remote, and the HDMI switcher remote. Now we realize we still may need to have those available, as not all the buttons are currently programmed into the Harmony remote. And however, for the regular daily use, we may not need to reach them. RipeWave Audio feels that the Harmony Elite was successful in simplifying the control of our secondary entertainment setup from 5 down to 1 remote. While we are not leveraging all the capabilities of the Elite, such as voice and control, light and blind control, the benefit of consolidation and one-button operation make this remote worth the price of admission. Now, despite the success of Harmony remotes, there is some speculation that Logitech may discontinue the brand, as more and more devices are switching to app-based control. However, RipeWave Audio still feels there is a need for centralized control. 1, use of mobile apps involves more clicks. I do have to power it on. I have to swipe to get in, open the app before I can do anything with the TV. 2, I'm not going to leave this phone on the coffee table. I'm going to take it with me. Therefore, you may need to buy a dedicated tablet for shared use. Every system component you have will have its own mobile app, unless they're the same brand. So you're going to have likely several apps. So that brings up 4, which there will be a need still for an integration app to harmonize and centralize control of these apps and create automation sequences. You will still need that. And then 5, legacy devices will still only have infrared, and that will remain for some time to come. So a Harmony Hub-like device is the perfect bridging gateway. And 6, not everyone is comfortable with enabling and using voice controls such as Alexa. So if you don't think this is the answer, you're going to do everything for voice, not everybody likes that. Oh, and 7, nothing beats the form factor of a physical remote for blind content surfing. I found that just within a day here, I already know where the volume is. I know where the channels are. There is, a tactile feel. I can feel the curvature. I can feel the roundness of where this is. I don't get that on a touchscreen. And when the manufacturer decides to update an app, those buttons can move around. So suddenly everything you learned has to be relearned. That's why I like the physical remote. Therefore, RipeWave Audio hopes that there will always be a dedicated universal remote option despite the shift towards app-based control. We argue that while transports and protocols will change, the operator experience must retain remote-like simplicity, convenience, and availability that today's phones and tablets don't deliver. RipeWave Audio is a late adopter to use universal remote technology, but we are glad we have finally jumped in regardless of an uncertain future of this type of remote control. If you are considering device control simplification or are currently using universal remotes, we would appreciate hearing your feedback. Do you favor these dedicated remotes, or are you fully on board with using your phones and tablets? Do you leave the setup to integrators, or do you tackle that yourself? That feedback would be useful to the RipeWave Audio community. Furthermore, if you enjoyed this video and are interested in enhancing your audio experience, please like and subscribe to this RipeWave Audio community, and be sure to select that bell icon so you'll be notified as soon as the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.